I want to thank you all for coming here today. We're going to take a few minutes together and talk about the core values, which is really one of the foundational discussions of working here at CalSTRS. But first I want to tell you just how critical and important these are to me as CEO in the organization and how I stress these in all the parts of the organization as we manage CalSTRS. Now, some of you have worked in the private sector, some of you come from the public sector, you bring different perspectives on work, but it's really that core set of values that brings us all together to make sure that we're taking the same vision and looking at what we need to do in an organization and how to guide our behavior as we work together and be successful together in an organization. Soon enough, you'll be back at the workplace working on your specific tasks and your job duties, but really the starting point for a conversation in any kind of business should be core values. I worked with our board of directors back in 2002 to really establish these core values and talk about what is it that is specific to CalSTRS, what about working here and our mission that would really provide the foundation for our success. So these aren't core values that we borrow from another corporation or would make sense in another state agency. They're very specific to CalSTRS. These core values you'll hear on and off again in your career. We'll communicate them through messaging, through posters, I'm sure, on the wall in different ways. But we want to make them much more intimate and much more close to you. So they really do provide almost a sense of daily guidance. It's a compass in which we can guide the organization and make sure that we actually are, in fact, heading in the same direction. Now, you need to know that we manage this organization to these core values. These are critical to yourself, to all the managers that report to me. When we measure our performance, we think about these and making sure that we are, in fact, living the organization by these core values. We've talked about how core values are the foundation of our work here at CalSTRS, but now let's actually talk about the core values themselves and their importance to us and what we do. First one, not surprisingly, the C in CalSTRS is around customer service. This is a financial services organization, so we're working really with 850,000 customers, or what we call members, being the educators of California. Now, for this core value, we have set the bar extremely high. We actually say never compromise on quality. We strive here to exceed the expectations of our members, but we need to set the bar that high. When we think about what we're doing here, we're doing work on members' records, we're doing investments, we're developing strategies around servicing our members that may not come to full bear for generations to come. So unlike other kinds of businesses where issues of customer service are identified readily and quickly, here we're working for years and decades out. All of us in our work lives have had a time when you've been asked to do something faster than you know you can do it, where there is going to be a consequence of error. What we're really asking you individually to do here and to say to you is, wait a minute, hold up your hand, say stop, I cannot do this if this is going to cause this type of error, because we really got to make sure that what we do is right for generations to come. So again, always focusing on quality of what we do here, recognizing that is the paramount priority in the work we do. Next, talk about accountability in the organization. Now, you've heard me say the size of CalSTRS is enormous. We are the largest teachers' pension fund here in the United States. We're the second largest public pension fund in the United States, and we're the 8th largest pension fund in the entire world. So apart from providing great service to our 850,000 members, we really do have the eyes of much of the world looking at CalSTRS, looking at our business practices, looking at the investment strategies that we use on a global basis. A lot of people want to know what this organization is doing because our impact goes well beyond the borders of California. So we must operate here with a tremendous amount of accountability, recognizing that there is a lot of focus on what we do and that we do it so well. Leadership. Now, a corollary of being a large organization is that a lot of people want to know how you got to be large. What are your successful strategies? So I think one of the enjoyable pieces about working here is that you get to see a number of visiting delegations from Asia and Europe coming, trying to understand our investment strategies, how we do customer service, our web strategies, and how we communicate ourselves as a financial services organization. So we don't want to just deliver good service here, but we also really want to toot our horn, because we do want to make sure that public pension plans, not just CalSTRS, but all public pension plans, are successful in what they do. And we want to brag a bit about those practices when we have other people coming visiting us here at CalSTRS. The next core value we're going to talk about is strength. Now, really, when we talk about strength, what we're really talking about is our workforce itself. So we're talking about us. And basically, that's recognizing that the strength of an organization is ultimately realized by embracing a diversity of ideas and people. Now, diversity is not just about bringing different ethnicities into the workplace, but it's really meaning infusing different ideas and perspectives that ultimately makes for much better decision making in what we do. It isn't just about being a good organization. It's also about recognizing that if we're going to operate in teams, if we're going to have a collaborative atmosphere here that develops the best strategies, it means you need differences. It means you need differences in perspectives. That's ultimately how we get to the best solutions and the best conclusions of what we do. The core value of trust. Now, we are a financial institution. And when you think about, if you think about your bank or your credit union or where you might invest money, that's the most fundamental part of that relationship to a financial institution. If you do not trust them, you definitely do not want to do business with them. Essentially, we're providing the security to thousands and thousands of teachers over many generations. And for the most part, teachers are depending upon us for the vast majority of their financial security. So making sure that we behave ourselves in the most ethical manner is fundamental to everything that we do. If a person cannot trust their financial institution, that relationship is soured from the very beginning. So we are adamant here. We do everything possible to make sure that we have the best governance practices with our board of directors, that we talk about ethics in the workplace, that we conduct training around ethics in the workplace. That precious relationship that we have with our customers around trust is so crucial to the way our customers view us and working with us and making sure that we have created the right customer relationship with our members. I want to talk a bit about respect and the importance of that in the workplace. This might seem obvious, but you've all probably worked in a place where you didn't see the adequate level of respect, where you didn't enjoy going to work, where you felt you weren't treated in a courteous fashion. Now, this is as fundamental as it gets when you think about what all of us would like to have when we walk in the door in the morning and look at your neighbor, your colleague next door, and you want to make sure that that relationship is in fact resting on a sound relationship of honesty, of courtesy, and respecting each other. It's something we all want in our lives, and it's something that others expect of us in return. And if we can't have those types of positive relationships in the workplace, it's very difficult to work in a collaborative environment. So having respect as a core value in my mind is really, when you think about the very essence of having strong relationships in the workplace and recognizing that if I'm going to work with you on a team, if we're going to respect each other, then I know that I can trust you and work with you successfully in what we do. Finally, stewardship. Now, that is, if you want to think of kind of the omnibus core value of everything that we do here, this really refers to our fiduciary responsibility on running a trust fund. And really what we're talking about here is the fact that this isn't just another big state agency. It's not just another state agency with a lot of money, but this is a trust fund. And what that means is that all of us here, everything that we do here, it must be done solely for the benefit of our beneficiaries, the member of the system. So really we have to have blinders on to all the other distractions that happen in the workplace, whatever's going around in politics or the budgetary processes or what might be going on in other departments. That doesn't matter to us here. We are singularly focused as a trust fund on making sure that these resources are here and grow over time to serve our members for generations to come for their retirement. So by saying that our fiduciary responsibility is the foundation of all decision making, it's saying that we have laser-like focus around being fiduciaries and we're there solely to serve the members of our system. When we talk about these core values, a couple things to close with. One is, when we design these with the board, these are not meant just to be important for the board or myself or just the executive staff or the managers or the supervisors or just the staff in general. It's really for all of us that work here in the organization. Again, it's the underlying fabric of what we do that brings us together. This is actually one of the most important parts of managing this business for me at CalSTRS, is these core values, in making sure that they stay fresh, that all of us think about them, that we understand their importance in setting the work that we do. I think you'll find an organization that rests on its core values is one that you'd be much more proud to work in than a place that really just shows up every day and kind of runs on its own motor and kind of meanders through a day-to-day type of existence. But we really do have a very higher purpose here at CalSTRS, in that we're able to actually provide financial security for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of teachers over many generations. So to get to that finish line, these core values are instrumental in what we do.